Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Pikel with League of Items. And anyone who was on Twitter today saw that I went 12 for 12 on my picks, and also saw that they were mostly favorites, so it's much less impressive. But just kidding. Going 12 for 12, in my opinion, should be celebrated regardless of who you picked, because it's about getting it right. We should all remember that. But let's go over the picks, and then I'll give my thoughts on the slate for tomorrow. Again, if you want my picks for tomorrow, there's only LPL until the 24th, so we got a couple 2-game slates coming at us. But if you want to join the Patreon, you'll get access to Discord. With Discord, you get access to my picks. But yeah, you know, it's pretty interesting to like see the kind of numbers that you would make, I guess, betting on favorites, because yeah, like obviously betting on favorites, you're not going to make a killing, but if you're betting on dogs that don't have a chance, you're going to lose lots of money. So it's always about finding the good value spots, and that's why in most of my videos I always say, like, I'm not looking to bet on every single game. I'm just looking to make my picks on every single game, because if I just blindly bet every single game, it's not, and don't take value into consideration, then I'm not going to do really well long term. So let's start in the LPL. We had Sunning against Rogue Warriors. I was on Sunning because I think that they're an underrated team in general. I have been taking them against some of the bigger favorites because in order for them to end the season where I think that they probably will, they're going to need to take a couple of these series at some point against the top teams so that they can kind of cement themselves in playoffs, the bottom half of the playoff bracket. Yeah, so I'm a believer in sticking to like that tier list that I have, and I have Sunning above Rogue Warriors on that. So let's take a look at that actually as well. We have Sunning, and then down here we have Rogue Warriors. So yeah. Next up, we have Invictus Gaming against EDG. I'm not going to lie to you. This one scared me. I'm a believer in EDG, in IG. I think that they're a very good team. I think a lot of the time they're going to lose games, and it's going to look horrible like it did in Game 1. The Shy had 8 deaths. But you need to remember, like, and I can't say this enough, like, even in my Discord, I hear this sometimes from the people who are in Discord. You cannot look at one game and say, like, this player is good, this player is bad, or even halfway through a game. It's really difficult for someone who doesn't understand League of Legends at a very deep level to know what good and bad play is, because sometimes your options are limited based on the game state and like what you can actually do. So I think the Shy, he's been dying a ton, but we don't care about that as much as we care about his upside, because he has upside that's unavailable to a lot of players from like the kill portion of things. Like a lot of players that score high as a top laner will do it a lot through assists. He also has the kill upside, which is something that we want to be able to take advantage of long term. It doesn't mean that every slate we're going to get a good result. It means that in one of these slates, he's going to hit, and he's going to hit big, and it's going to win somebody a lot of money. So I liked Invictus Gaming. I thought they had an advantage top lane. I thought they had an advantage in the jungle. I thought they had an advantage mid lane. And then bot lane, it was 50-50, if not favored for EDG. EDG has a lot of name recognition on their side, and so does Invictus Gaming. But I think a lot of the public sentiment, especially on DraftKings, the people who have been betting into Invictus Gaming knowing that they're a pretty good team have been getting burned, so that probably feels bad. So I expected EDG to have some inflated ownership and IG to go a little under where they should have been. Next match, now we're in Korea. Genji against KT. KT did play Kuro and Smeb, which I thought was very good for them to increase their chances of actually winning the match. They still lost. This went 3 games, so there was no game not played bonus. But that's fine. It really, for Genji, I kind of thought that I wouldn't want to play them unless they had a chance to 2-0. I thought they had a chance to 2-0 against KT, but I still didn't have much exposure to Genji. I know that KT, when they're losers, they don't get like absolutely destroyed back-to-back games. It's more likely for a game to kind of end with like lower kills and be macro focused. Damwon Gaming against APK, or SP now they're called. I love Damwon Gaming. I love watching them. Showmaker is extremely cool to watch and see all the different picks that he plays. And their support has been playing support Pantheon, which is very unique. I don't know if I've seen any other team do it recently. And I think just from an organizational perspective, I think that Damwon Gaming is willing to play these kinds of champions because they have Noguri, who can play a lot of different top laners. They have Canyon, who's more of like a meta jungler, or the old meta, not necessarily Kindred Graves. Then you have Showmaker, who can play literally anything. Then you have Ghost and Beryl. And Beryl's playing support Pantheon, and he's making it look like it's one of the best supports that are out there. It's very good against the immobile AD carry meta, so I think unless people start to realize why they're picking it, they're going to continue to get cheap wins off of it, and I think that's pretty good. EG against Team Liquid. This was probably my favorite bet of the day. I thought that it was the easiest spot to identify because Team Liquid has been winning all their games. They've been looking pretty good. EG just lost a pretty big match, high-profile match against C9. Losing to the best team in North America should not make anyone have a lower opinion of you. But it's inevitable. When you see somebody lose and another team always winning, you're going to want to pick the team that's winning. I honestly didn't like the draft from EG, but they played around it really well. Volibear being able to shut off turrets, pretty good. But so yeah, I loved the spot there for EG. That's about it. FlyQuest against Dignitas. This was so funny. I knew exactly what was going to happen on DraftKings today for this match. I knew that Mash used to be called Don't Mash Me. I knew that he was going to be high owned. And I wanted to fade him as much as I could. And he was 35% owned. I mean, it's crazy. This guy wasn't even on an LCS team last week, and now people want to get that much exposure to him. It's like, yeah, he had a very good score line last game, but he didn't really create a lot of that for himself. And even in that game, I think he was second or third highest on his own team in scoring. So you really have to pay more attention to that, I think. For the average player. C9 against Golden Guardians. C9, they're just going to beat the shit out of everybody. I'm going to keep looking for spots to pick against them, but it's tough. Like, you can't bet on this. If you bet $100 for C9 to win, you win $13. Like, that's no fun for anybody. But yeah, got to keep looking for spots to beat C9. It will happen, I think, this split. Just got to pick the right spot. 100 Thieves against Immortals. Immortals is absolutely horrible. I didn't even watch this game, but I know that 100 Thieves had a ton of DraftKings points, and I think that whoever came in first in the DraftKings contest, the big DraftKings contest, had Vulcan as their captain with C9 and 100 Thieves. And that is something that if I was playing max entries, I assume I would have been on it, but, it's tough to say. I did like 100 Thieves. That was probably my favorite team today, picking against Immortals because they had a very bad record, but anybody playing against Immortals has the chance to look like the best team in the world. So that's it for that. Flamengo against Kaboom. Flamengo, better team than Kaboom. They both have winning records right now, but Flamengo just got B-Voy, so that's a big upgrade in terms of their AD carry. Santos against PRG. I still think Santos is probably the best team in the league. Santos against Flamengo would be interesting because I think Flamengo might actually be favored in that matchup by the book because B-Voy is a bigger name coming in from Europe than Rainbow and Jackpot, who nobody really knew about. At least I didn't know about until I saw them in the Challenger League. But yeah, Santos. I think I've been on the Santos side every single game, just because I'm going to be surprised every time they lose. They're very good. Very good team. Pain against Furia. Pain is the Dallas Cowboys. Pain are the Dallas Cowboys. I don't want to bet on the Dallas Cowboys, but when the Dallas Cowboys are playing against the Cleveland Browns, I'm going to play the Dallas Cowboys. And then INTZ against Vivo. This was my second favorite spot of the day. The only underdog that I picked all day. I knew that INTZ had a very weak schedule going into this match. They've beaten a lot of teams that are just no good, or are at least even with them in terms of skill. So it's kind of like a coin flip. Vivo Keat, on the other hand, they've had a pretty tough schedule. Vivo Keat has been underperforming in general. This was a good time for them to kind of have a good comeback game, and I was fortunately on it. So let's take a look at before we move on. Let's take a look at this. So if I do not bet on every pick that I make. I've been pretty clear with that in general, and this is why. Okay, so think about how many times I've won 63% of I've picked the game correct 63% of the time, right? In order to be a profitable bettor, you need to pick at least 50% and cover the vig, right? So you need to be like 56, 57%. I'm 6% above that, right? So if I'm betting every single one of these matches, I have a 6% edge over the book. I should be profiting money easily if I just blindly make my bets, right, off of my picks. Wrong. And this is why. Look at the amount of money that you're getting off of a lot of these favorites in China, right? These are 3-game matches, so the sportsbook knows that the chances of the underdog winning are a lot lower. So it's like you need to be on the dogs when they win. So it's like 1, 2, 3 dogs, 3 and 1, 3 and 2, 3 and 3, 3 and 4, 3 and 5. So I'm 3 and 5 on picking dogs, and I'm up, I think. So 1.37, 1.37, 1.16. Dog, 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 dog. Fireworks going off. Yeah, that sounds like both fireworks and gunshots. Big fan. Gotta love it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm missing one. So in the beginning of the season, I had 3 good dog picks. If I bet all of my dog picks, I'd be minus 1.1 unit. And then when you take a look at all the favorites that I've picked, I've lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've lost on a favorite 7 times. So every time I lose on a favorite, I lose a full unit. Every time I win on a favorite, I'm winning half a unit, 0.6 units, 0.6 units, 0.1 unit. Like, you're never going to make this bet. This is just not worth it, right? 0.65 units, so this is a good one. When you're getting the ones that are like 150-ish, you're actually getting some pretty good value, right? So if it's around 0.5 for a win, I'm okay with that. 0.4 for a win, that's okay. When it's like a lopsided matchup that I believe in, but there's not a ton of value in these spots. So, like, you don't want to just blindly bet these picks. If you did, you'd be down $60 right now, $62. So it's really about picking your spots when you want to make a bet. I'll take this record and put it up against anybody. I think going 63% is really good for picking every single match, right? It's really not as easy as just picking all the favorites. But with that being said, let's go to LPL for tonight and see what we have. So we have Vici Gaming against V5. All right, Mr. Malmanger. has the rosters out. Not sure who we got them from, but we don't ask those questions. We just retweet those. So we have Bew, Wei Wei, Mole, Sam D, PP God, Cube, Leon, Forge, iBoy, Hong. Xiaobai, Wei, Fun, Wink, Xiaoxi, New, XLB, Xiaohu, Betty, and Ming. Alright. Let's throw that back over there. So we have Vici and V5. These are from before the season. Let me get my new rankings. LPL. Vici, V5. I still have Vici higher than V5. At least I did when I made this. I don't know if anything has really changed since then. Let's take a look at Vici, V5, E-Star, RNG. Okay, so in their last two matches, VG Gaming played against RNG, and they played against World Elite. They're subbing out their jungler, and that's going to be very interesting to see what happens with that change. Leon was the jungler for Invictus Gaming last split, and like I think that just would make everyone assume that he is much better than Wei Wei. I mean, they're still playing the right champions. I do like who V5 picks. You know, it'd be so easy to fade them if I didn't like their jungler pool. That's what scares me about Leon. Let's see. Nidalee. I think it's time. I think it's Leon's time to shine. Nidalee's going to be a contested pick. If we go lane by lane, Bew against Cube, I haven't seen enough this season to differentiate between the two, specifically in the top lane. Wei Wei against Leon, I would assume Leon's better than him. Forge against Mole, I think Forge has got to be a little bit better. Sam D and PP God against iBoy and Hong. I mean, iBoy is the higher pedigree player. A lot of people believe in iBoy in like his ability to carry games, but it hasn't materialized yet. So Warriors, E-Star, LNG, LGD. I mean, I feel like I've got to be on VG Gaming tonight. I just... Yeah, so VG Gaming... Oh my god, I wish VG Gaming was the underdog here. That would make me feel so much better. VG Gaming 59% to V5 48%. That's a tough game. It is a tough game to pick. Like, I don't want to bet against V5 or VG Gaming. And I don't want to bet on VG Gaming or V5. Like, I understand, like, the different narratives that I could convince myself of that pushes me one way or the other. But I don't know which ones are good and which ones are feeding into, like, too many biases. From the eye test, from the eye test, I would say Billy Gaming has looked better in a lot of their matches because they've been winning. So they're 3-1 right now. VG Gaming has lost their last 2 matches. Okay, so for DraftKings, my prediction is that V5 will be higher owned than VG Gaming. I think RNG will be the highest owned team. V5 will be second. VG Gaming will be third. E-Star will be last. So you can do whatever you want with that information. Now let's look E-Star against RNG. So this is everything that we expect. Graves, Echo, Graves, Echo, Graves, Echo. So E-Star's playing the right champions, so that does concern me a little bit. XLB against, or RNG against JDG. I believe I was on that, right? Or did I pick JDG on that? Oh man, that hurts. This feels like a spot that I should have been on RNG, because I do believe in them long term. I do like XLB, and like I said in that video, I said now is XLB's time to shine. Like, if he is going to be a very good jungler, he has to prove himself against a good team like JDG. Kanavi, great jungler. He went toe-to-toe with him and won. So I think that's very encouraging. XLB against Wei. XLB was on the same team as Wei. XLB was the starter. Wei was the backup. I think that in the top lane, Xiaobai against Nu is pretty even. Xiaohu against FunFun. I think Xiaohu's a better player. Wink and Xiaoxi against Betty and Ming. That's pretty close. So I'm going to take the better jungler for DraftKings, and I think that RNG will be the highest owned team on the night. It's going to be tough to bet on E-Star. E-Star beat LNG in their last match. Did I get that one right? No, I was on the dog. That was okay. Alright. So that's basically it for this one. Like I said, I think that on DraftKings it'll be RNG is the highest owned, V5 is the second highest owned, Sam D will be very highly owned, PP God will probably be pretty highly owned because he'll just fit into lineups with Sam D, and then Vici, and then E-Star. I think it'll be very tough for people to convince themselves that E-Star will beat RNG. So that's all I got for you tonight. It's pretty tough to do these highlights with all these games, so I might be a little bit more selective with the games that I actually do highlights on when it's not like a 2-game slate or a 4-game slate. But I hope you enjoyed them as well. If you want access to my picks, check out the Patreon. You'll get access to Discord, which gives you access to my picks. Oh, shout out to Nick. Big win today. Won like $8,500 on CB Law. And that's about it. So, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.